Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope yours is going well. We've got some Seahawks stuff to talk about, and today we're going to be addressing one particular position of interest, and you may already be able to guess what that position is, because right now it's probably the position of the highest amount of scrutiny for this team. I'm talking about cornerback. Talking about cornerback, specifically outside cornerback, because nickel corner, I feel pretty good about nickel. I think we know where we are there. We've got one guy who's going to start who has a lot of potential. We've got a backup who started last year and did pretty well. I think we're pretty good there. We're talking about outside corner and what we're going to do there. As of right now, we have 6 players on the 53-man roster who project to be primarily outside corners. That includes Nigel Warrior, who I don't know who he's going to replace on the active roster. It may very well be Trey Brown starting the season on IR, but for the moment, we can consider ourselves as having 6 active roster cornerbacks. And we got some news yesterday because Pete Carroll had a press conference and he said many things, and one of them was a little bit of information about where we are at the cornerback position. So we got to talk about this one because it definitely puts us in a weird mental space going into the 2021 season. So John Boyle on Twitter, let's start here, had this to say when watching the Carroll press conference, and he was far from the only one. Pete Carroll stopped short of naming a definitive starter, but strongly suggests that Tre Flowers will be the starting right cornerback. Said playing DJ Reed is getting work at left cornerback because of how well Flowers is playing on the right side. So, long story short, or short story made even shorter, Tre Flowers is going to be the starting cornerback for the Seahawks in Week 1 of 2021. Okay, so I'm not here to hate on Tre Flowers the way some of you guys do. Some people hate this man. Some people want this man dead. Some people just cannot handle Tre Flowers at all. I'm not here to do that. I will say that the shine really came off the apple for me last year in some of the games he had against, for instance, the Cowboys. And it got to the point where against the Dolphins, he had so little confidence. We were just telling him to run straight backwards against everybody so he doesn't get beat deep and give up all the 6 to 8 yard completions your heart could ever desire. But, you know, he clearly has some skills in the NFL, okay? He definitely did impressive things his first 2 years. Rookie year, pretty good for a 5th-round rookie who had just switched positions. Second year, I felt like something was happening. But last year, that was... You could not have played the position much worse than Tre Flowers did through a good chunk of 2020. And he got it together a little bit as the season went on, but it was so bad that you cannot help but look at this and go, oh crap, that's the best we can do. But if Carroll is to be believed, that is the best that we can do right now. Tre Flowers will be the starting right cornerback. So, let's go ahead and bump him up. As for the rest of the cornerback position, Brady Henderson in this tweet outlines that Sidney Jones will play both sides. Now, I'm not here to poo-poo on Sidney Jones at all. In fact, I think that was a good trade, and I'm intrigued to see what he can do. But either way, it sounds like he's going to be the next man up. If Flowers or Reed struggles or gets hurt, Sidney Jones sounds like he's the next man up. Now, that leaves Ahkello Witherspoon back here. So, the guy that you actually signed in free agency, the guy who you spent actual money on, the guy who you made your... not your big offseason acquisition, but your first offseason acquisition, looks like he's actually going to start as the second man off the bench. And then you have Trey Brown, who, by the way, is only in the fifth slot because it looks like he's going to start the season injured. So, yeah. And then you have Nigel Warrior. We don't know where he's going to slot in yet, but Matty F. Brown, who knows what he's talking about, thinks that Nigel Warrior will battle for the right cornerback spot when he's up to speed. So you put it all together, this seems to be the order for our outside cornerbacks right now in terms of which ones will get their chance to shine first and which ones will have to lose their opportunity via poor play before the other guys get a shot. Again, I don't hate Tre Flowers the way some of you guys do. I don't. But how did we end up here, man? How did we end up here? Because I'm sorry, I can make some excuses for Tre Flowers. I can. I can say we had no pass rush last year when he was bad, and once we got Dunlap in the fold, he started playing better. I can say that. I can say that by the time we got a pass rush, DJ Reed had blown up to the point where Tre Flowers didn't get on the field as much as he used to, so it was kind of hard for him to earn his way back into Pete's good graces because he had already blown it so badly. I can say these things, but I still have to ask, how did we end up here? Because this is Pete Carroll's world. This is Pete Carroll's domain. Okay? Cornerback is his deal. Cornerback is his specialty. And his tenure in Seattle has been largely defined by his ability to get corners. We all know Richard Sherman, but then there was Brandon Browner, there was Byron Maxwell, there was Walter Thurman III, Jeremy Lane, Justin Coleman. All these guys, for the most part, pulled out of the ether, basically willed into existence by Carroll's ability to scout and develop cornerback talent. These guys were blips on the radar at best before Carroll got a hold of them. They didn't get drafted. They barely got drafted. They had been kicked out by other teams. And I don't want to say that things got way worse in the last few years because there have been hits. Shaq Griffin, okay, it was inconsistent, but he had a pretty good 4 years here. He was a third-round pick, made a Pro Bowl, had good moments, had bad moments too, but we got some good stuff from him. Tre Flowers, I already said, fifth-round safety, converted corner, 2 good years. Ugo Amadi, fourth-round pick, came in for the injured Blair last year, played well. It hasn't, and DJ Reed, of course. I mean, DJ Reed, manna from heaven, out of nowhere, comes in and basically saves us when the Dunbar thing goes south. But it's the Dunbars of the world that have me wondering what is going on here. Because really, this whole thing started really going downhill last year. Shaq Griffin in a contract year had what was, in my opinion, a down year. He did not play as well as he did in 2019. Tre Flowers took a big step back, regressed heavily, and Quentin Dunbar, I know he got hurt, but I still have to wonder what Pete really saw in that guy and how Pete turned the number 2 corner in the league, according to PFF, into a dude who looked like he can't even brush his teeth. And we go into this offseason knowing that we have to hit that position hard. We know we have DJ Reed. Yay, cool. He was good last year for 8 games, and then good in the playoff game, I guess. But we're losing Shaq Griffin, who went to Jacksonville. We're losing Dunbar, and we never really had Dunbar to begin with. And we're left with guys like Tre Flowers and Nico Thorpe. So Carroll should be looking at that offseason as a chance to paint the Sistine Chapel. I've got a blank slate at corner outside of really one guy who proved himself last year. But I can go get the guys that I want. I can draft the guys that I want. I can mold a defensive backfield the way I have my whole Seattle career. And here we are, less than 10 days before the start of the regular season, and our starting cornerbacks are DJ Reed and Tre Flowers. Akella Witherspoon, the first significant free agent acquisition of the offseason for the Seahawks, apparently played his way out of a starting job to the point where I don't even expect him to get on the field if one of those two starters falls apart or gets hurt, and to the point where you have to start wondering if we're going to be thinking Kerry Williams 2.0 in a couple of months here. He drafted a guy who I think has looked pretty good so far in the little bit that we've seen. I don't have anything negative to say about him, but injury or not, I don't feel like he was going to be ready yet. I guess we'll never know for sure, but injury or not, I don't feel like he's ready to start in the NFL. And you get to the point of it being a couple weeks before the season starts, and it just smells a little desperate. You go out and trade for John Reed. And I'm not saying you traded for John Reed expecting him to be a starter, but you did trade for him. I know you ended up not actually trading for him because the trade got voided because you cut him, but you went out and got him, and then you're trading for Sidney Jones, and that was a real trade. That was actually like, giving up a genuine asset, even if it's a small asset. You're picking up Nigel Warrior off the waivers. It really feels like, and I'll never be able to know if this is the case for sure, it really feels like you stepped back after the preseason was over and went, oh crap, I really don't like our corners. This is really not working. Oh, what do we do now? It cannot help but feel like that. 2 trades and a waiver wire pickup in the course of a week, I think. Sorry, it just smells. So, what is the plan at cornerback? I guess it's to let DJ Reed and Tre Flowers start to begin 2021, and if it doesn't work out, you do have some recourses. You have Sidney Jones, you have Witherspoon, although at this point it seems like there is no confidence in the organization in him. I can't know for sure again, but it sure seems like we saw something we really didn't like from him, and we're already trying to bury him. And you, of course, have Trey Brown, who time will tell, and Nigel Warrior, who I'm not even going to try to guess on because he just got here and has no NFL experience. But it's just crazy that after an offseason where we knew we had to hit cornerback somewhat hard because we were losing our 2 week 1 starters from last year, and we knew that we really only had one reliable guy, that we're here now. DJ Reed, Tre Flowers, and a bunch of guys that we scraped together in the 11th hour of the offseason before the actual game start. Now, Tre Flowers has reportedly had a wonderful camp, and Carroll praised him up and down in his press conference yesterday. Okay, I'm kind of tired of hearing about these guys who are great in camp and then we don't see it in games. Kind of reminds me of Rex Ryan when he was the coach of the Jets. Every week, we had the greatest week of practice ever. We had a great week of practice, and then they'd go out and get blown out. Gets a little tiring. When is that going to translate to an actual game? Maybe it'll be this year. I don't know. Now, I will say that I do have a lot of faith in our pass rush, and I think a good pass rush is the best medicine for a questionable cornerback room. I think we're going to be able to get after quarterbacks this year. I think that the safeties we have are obviously top of the line. I think our linebackers are going to be even better than I thought they were going to be. But it strikes me as ironic that cornerback is the one position on this defense that kind of makes you cringe right now. Of all the positions for this team to not be ready to go to war at, cornerback being it. Look, I don't want to start this season out on a negative note, like I'm going on a witch hunt here, but if the cornerback position doesn't go well this year, then I'm going to have some things to say about that, and I hope you guys will be willing to hear it, because, I mean, this is supposed to be Carroll's thing. This has always been Carroll's thing, and I'm sorry. Look, I will admit there's probably some things that Carroll does for this team that I don't give a lot of credit to that are worth a little more than I give credit for. Okay? I do admit that on some level he may be doing some things right, even though I think that a lot of those things might be a little more abstract than some Carroll fans are willing to admit. But If the cornerback position costs us this year, then I don't really know what Carroll is still doing here. And it's already pretty unbelievable that we're sitting here right before the season starts looking at DJ Reed and Tre Flowers as our starters. But that's just the half of it. If the season starts and those guys can't get it done, and the guys we brought in to back them up can't get it done, then it's really time to start wondering if Carroll can't even do that part of it anymore. And if he can't do that part of it anymore, then I don't know if what he's doing is really worth our millions of dollars a year and putting the faith of running our organization in for the next several years, which I know he's under contract to do. All right, so the main headline to take away from this is that Tre Flowers is going to start. DJ Reed's the other starter. Sidney Jones is likely going to get a chance to take their places if they struggle or get hurt. And Witherspoon, it looks like he's getting buried. Trey Brown, probably not going to be ready for week 1 because of the injury. And Nigel Warrior, who knows? All I know is that we apparently want to list him at corner. All right, so let me know what you think down below. I know you guys hate Tre Flowers more than I do, and I empathize. I do. He's not very good. He hasn't proven that he's good yet. But that's what we got, so we got to roll with it. All right, see you guys later today. Peace out. Go Hawks. I want to hear from you guys on this one. See y'all later.